Good evening and welcome to Mystery. I'm Vincent Price. Tonight, another exciting adventure with the world's most famous consulting detective, Sherlock Holmes. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle tells us that Holmes was devoted to his pipe, and that in fact he had several dirty clays, some straight-stemmed bulldogs, and a favorite cherry wood for difficult disputations. But when American actor William Gillette starred in his own play about Holmes at the turn of the century, he found that the only pipe he could keep balanced in his mouth, which still allowed him to speak his lines, was a droop-bowl gooseneck meerschaum. Now, this detail, not found in Conan Doyle, soon was picked up by illustrators of Holmes's tales and quickly became part of what most of us accept as Sherlock Holmes's standard image. Tonight, we find Holmes smoking his long cherrywood pipe, for he is in a most disputatious mood as he begins the adventure of the copper Beeches. Despite Holmes's attentiveness to Violet Hunter, Watson wrote, rather to my disappointment, he manifested no further interest in her when once she had ceased to be the center of one of his problems. Well, Watson shouldn't have been surprised by this, for on many occasions the famous detective was fond of insisting, I use my head, not my heart. Holmes never made love in any story that Conan Doyle wrote. And Jeremy Brett, who plays Holmes in our series, believes that it wasn't just a question of Victorian censorship that caused the omission. I don't believe he ever had sex at all, Brett said. I personally don't believe that he ever allowed passion to disturb his brain. On many occasions, Holmes admitted that he never held a very high opinion of women in general. And Watson tells us that he had, in fact, a positive aversion to them. Holmes stated it bluntly and unequivocally, women are never to be entirely trusted, not the best of them. His dislike and distrust of the opposite sex was made quite clear in Billy Wilder's 1970 film, The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes, which suggested that Holmes and Watson were a couple. Needless to say, the film caused a sensation among Holmes enthusiasts, and London's Sherlock Holmes Society was outraged. Barrister Anthony Hallett, a member of the society, quietly admitted that occasionally the group had discussed the possibility. We played around with the idea, Hallett confessed, twisting quotations and taking them out of context, but that was only for our own amusement. We never would have admitted it in public. Holmesian scholars continue to examine Conan Doyle's texts, and most find that after all the evidence is weighed, that there is no reason for doubting Holmes's own words, I have never loved. I hope that you'll join me next week for one of the most famous Sherlock Holmes adventures of all, the Red-Headed League. Until then, for Mystery, I'm Vincent Price. Good night.